Welcome to the Capital Exchange. I'm Steve Wilbur, Managing Director at Allen Capital Group.
And I'm Travis Portwood, Chief Investment Officer with Allen Capital Group.
Travis, we're 18 months into the pandemic, and we've come a long way since last summer when our country was in a lockdown. A recent poll from Times Magazine tells us that 34% of Americans feel somewhat uncomfortable about their financial future, and 17% of Americans feel very uncomfortable about their financial future. They did the same poll last summer when things were pretty grim, and you would think those numbers would have been higher, but they were pretty much the same. 36% of people felt somewhat uncomfortable, while 15% of people felt very uncomfortable about their financial future. So in both polls, 51% of people were suffering from financial anxiety. Why do you think that is?
Well, Steve, you're right. We've come a long way from last year at this time, but we still have a high unemployment rate at 5.2%. So people are still suffering from loss of income. Inflation remains high. Even if it does turn out to be temporary, it's high right now. The latest CPI reading came in at 5.25%. So people are paying more for basic needs: food, water, electricity, gas. Those expenses are eating up a higher percentage of people's income or savings if that's what they're living on. Add unemployment and inflation together and you get what's called the misery index, which is at about 10.45%. And that's about the same level it was coming out of the financial crisis.
So that sounds really pleasant, Travis.
Yeah. Yes.
Travis, your commentary you write every month. You always say that you cannot predict the next crisis or downturn, but you can put yourself in a position to absorb a big hit. And that starts with doing financial planning. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're right, Steve. And my guess is a sizable amount of that 51% of people suffering from financial anxiety that you mentioned didn't have a financial plan in place. And I'm not saying that a plan prevents you from suffering during the next downturn, job loss, job change, or whatever the situation may be, but going through the process does give you a base or a stable base to help you prepare for an uncertain future. And that helps you make better decisions now before the next crisis.
You know, Travis, one of the benefits of the financial planning process, financial or other, is it helps relieve you of the anxiety that those 51% of people are suffering from. It helps you become comfortable with the change because you've dealt with the possibility of it happening, so you're prepared for it ahead of time.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. And during the financial planning process, we help clients set goals. And many of those goals aren't really for achieving, they're more for direction. Specific goals might change, but the direction, saving more, living a fuller life, they become more important because we know specifics will change as your life changes.
Travis, there's a quote I really like. The only constant in life is change, isn't it?
That's absolutely right, Steve.
Travis, this has been great. I look forward to it next week.
Look forward to it as well. Thank you for watching this week's Exchange.
To make sure you don't miss out on future discussions, please follow us on social media.
Make sure to like and share our videos, and we'll see you next week.